Do you wake up every day feeling like life is testing you? Like every financial obstacle is an exam you need to pass? What if I told you that you're seeing everything completely wrong? What you call a test is actually preparation. What you interpret as a block is actually calibration. What you see as failure is the universe preparing you to manage wealth at levels your conscious mind can't even process yet. Today we're diving deep into the quantum physics of financial preparation. I'm going to show you why every challenge you face isn't the universe sabotaging you, but rather preparing you to be a stable vessel for the abundance that's coming your way. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Wealth isn't just about having money. It's about becoming someone capable of sustaining, multiplying, and using that energy consciously. And that requires specific preparation that happens in layers you can't even imagine. Most people think manifestation is about getting what they want through visualization, affirmations, and positive thinking. But that's only the surface level. True quantum manifestation, especially when it comes to sustainable wealth, is about becoming the person who naturally operates at that level of abundance. And becoming that person? That's not a mental shift you can make overnight. It's a complete recalibration of your nervous system, your energy field, your identity, and your relationship with reality itself. The universe isn't withholding wealth from you because you're not good enough. It's preparing you because wealth without the proper foundation inevitably collapses. You've seen it happen. Lottery winners who go broke, entrepreneurs who build and lose fortunes, inherited wealth that disappears in a generation. The difference between temporary wealth and lasting abundance isn't luck or even talent. It's preparation. It's becoming someone who can handle the energy of wealth without being destroyed by it. Most people live trapped in a paradigm that says, if I'm a good person, if I work hard, if I think positive, life should be easy. And when life presents financial challenges, we interpret them as punishment, as if we weren't worthy, or as if we were doing something wrong. But this interpretation is based on a limited understanding of how reality works at the quantum level. The paradigm of testing implies that you could fail, that you need to prove your worth, that the universe is somehow judging your character and deciding whether you deserve abundance. This creates a victim mentality, where you're at the mercy of external forces, hoping to pass some cosmic exam. But what if the universe doesn't work like a strict teacher with a grading system? What if it works more like a master craftsman, systematically developing your skills until you're ready for the masterpiece? A test assumes you might fail. A test is about proving your worth. Preparation is different. Preparation assumes you're already worthy, that you already have the potential, and that now you're being refined to manifest that potential in its fullness. When you shift this perspective, everything changes. The same event that seemed like punishment now reveals itself as training. The same difficulty that made you question your worth now becomes an opportunity for strengthening. Think about how athletes prepare for the Olympics. They don't see their training as punishment for not being good enough. They see it as necessary preparation to perform at the highest level. The more intense the training, the greater the competition they're preparing for. Your financial challenges work the same way. The intensity of your preparation is proportional to the level of abundance you're being prepared to handle. Here's something fundamental. The quantum field has no morality. It doesn't judge whether you're good or bad. It responds to your vibrational frequency, your capacity to sustain energetic coherence, your ability to be a clear channel for manifestation. And wealth at the quantum level is simply energy organized in specific patterns. For you to become an efficient conductor of this energy, you need to be prepared. Your nervous system needs to be calibrated. Your beliefs need to be aligned. Your identity needs to expand. The field operates on resonance, not morality. If you're vibrating at the frequency of scarcity, struggle, and fear, that's what gets reflected back to you. Not because you're being punished, but because that's the signal you're broadcasting. Every financial obstacle you face is actually strengthening muscles you'll need when wealth arrives. It's teaching you discernment. It's developing your ability to make decisions under pressure. It's expanding your tolerance for uncertainty. Consider this. People who receive wealth without preparation often lose it quickly. Statistics show that most lottery winners return to their starting point within a few years. Why? Because they received the energy without having the container prepared to sustain it. But people who build wealth through conscious preparation tend to keep and multiply it. They've developed the internal infrastructure to handle abundance. What looks like random chaos in your financial life is actually intelligent design. There's a quantum intelligence at work that sees not just who you are now, but who you're becoming. It orchestrates experiences that accelerate your evolution in the most efficient way possible. This intelligence is far more sophisticated than your conscious mind can comprehend. It factors in your soul's purpose, your highest potential, the impact you're meant to have in the world, and the exact sequence of experiences needed to prepare you for that destiny. Quantum preparation for wealth happens on 3 simultaneous levels, each equally important. Your nervous system is the hardware that processes reality. If it's programmed for survival, scarcity, and fear, it will sabotage any attempt at sustainable wealth. Life puts you in situations that force this system to expand. Think of your nervous system like the electrical wiring in a house. If you want to run high-powered appliances, you need wiring that can handle the load. If you try to run a powerful machine through inadequate wiring, you'll blow a fuse. Wealth is high-powered energy. Your nervous system needs to be able to conduct it without short-circuiting. Every time you pass through a financial challenge and choose to respond with calm instead of panic, you're upgrading your nervous system. You're teaching your body that it's safe to have more, that it's safe to flow with changes, that it's safe to trust the process. Most people's nervous systems are wired for survival, not abundance. They're constantly scanning for threats, preparing for the worst, bracing for impact. This creates a chronic state of contraction that repels wealth. The preparation process systematically rewires your nervous system for expansion, trust, and flow. But this can't be done through affirmations alone. It requires actual experiences that prove to your body that abundance is safe. Wealth is energy in motion. To become an efficient conductor of this energy, you need to clear internal resistances. Every difficult situation you face is highlighting where you still have energetic blocks. The anger that arises when you can't pay a bill, that's showing you where you're still in victim vibration. The anxiety about the future, that's revealing where you still don't trust the process. The judgment about rich people, that's pointing to limiting beliefs that prevent your own flow. Energy blocks aren't just mental concepts. They're actual distortions in your energy field that create interference with the quantum flow of abundance. These blocks were often created by past traumas, inherited beliefs, or cultural programming about money. The preparation process brings these blocks to the surface so they can be identified and cleared. What feels like financial stress is often your energy system releasing old patterns that can't coexist with wealth. Perhaps most importantly, you need to become, energetically, someone who naturally has wealth. This isn't about pretending or faking it. It's about a genuine transformation of identity that happens through experience. Every challenge you overcome is building a new version of you, a version that's more resilient, wiser, more capable of handling great responsibilities and opportunities. Your identity is like the software running on the hardware of your nervous system. If your identity is programmed with beliefs like, "I'm not good with money," "rich people are greedy," or "I don't deserve abundance," these programs will override any conscious efforts to create wealth. Identity transformation can't be forced through willpower. It emerges naturally as you accumulate evidence of your expanding capabilities. Each time you handle a financial challenge with grace, each time you create value for others, each time you make a wise decision under pressure, you're building evidence of who you're becoming. Imagine the universe as an extremely sophisticated GPS system. It knows your final destination, the version of you living in total abundance. But it also knows your current location, your fears, limitations, unconscious patterns. The detours you experience aren't errors in the system. They're precise recalculations based on what you need to develop to reach your destination sustainably. If you're destined to be a successful entrepreneur but still have a fear of confrontation, life will put you in situations that force you to develop that skill. If you're destined to manage large sums but still have issues with personal boundaries, you'll go through experiences that teach you to say no. This calibration process can feel uncomfortable because it's stretching you beyond your current comfort zone. But comfort zones are, by definition, the limits of your current reality. To access a new level of reality, you must expand beyond those limits. There's a quantum intelligence operating that's far more sophisticated than our conscious mind can understand. This intelligence sees not just who you are now, but who you're becoming. It orchestrates experiences that accelerate your evolution. What seems like chaos to your linear mind is actually a perfectly orchestrated symphony of accelerated growth. This intelligence considers factors your conscious mind couldn't possibly track: the optimal sequence of lessons, the perfect timing for opportunities, the exact amount of challenge that will strengthen you without breaking you. This is why trying to control the process often backfires. Your conscious mind simply doesn't have access to all the variables that the quantum intelligence is working with. Trust becomes not just helpful, but essential. Resistance isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's often a sign that you're approaching a breakthrough. The energy patterns that have kept you in financial limitation don't give up easily. They create resistance because they're literally fighting for their survival. This resistance can manifest as unexpected expenses, difficult people, confusing circumstances, or intense emotions. Instead of seeing these as setbacks, recognize them as signs that you're moving energy that has been stuck for a long time. The key is not to eliminate resistance, but to move through it with awareness and persistence. Every time you choose expansion in the face of resistance, you weaken the old patterns and strengthen the new ones. If you're going through financial difficulties but can clearly identify what each situation is teaching you, that's a sign of preparation, not punishment. For example, you might be learning self-worth through situations where you need to negotiate your salary, or developing confidence through periods where you need to entrepreneur out of necessity, or cultivating gratitude through moments where you need to live with less. The key distinguisher is the learning. Random bad luck feels chaotic and meaningless. Preparation feels challenging but purposeful. You can see the thread of development running through your experiences. These lessons often build on each other in a logical sequence. You might first learn to manage small amounts responsibly, then learn to take calculated risks, then learn to lead others, then learn to handle larger responsibilities. Each phase prepares you for the next. When you're being prepared for wealth, your consciousness about money expands rapidly. You begin to understand concepts that previously seemed abstract. You develop financial intuition. You become more aware of your patterns and behaviors. This awakening of consciousness isn't coincidence, it's part of the preparation. You're developing the mental and emotional sophistication needed to handle wealth wisely. You might find yourself naturally drawn to books, courses, or conversations about money, investing, and entrepreneurship. You start seeing opportunities where you previously saw only problems. Your mind begins thinking in terms of systems, leverage, and multiple income streams. Even during difficult periods, you notice that opportunities continue to emerge. They might be small at first, but they appear. This indicates that the quantum field is constantly testing your readiness to receive more. The question is, can you recognize and seize these opportunities even when you're in scarcity mode? This is part of the test. Can you see abundance even when your current circumstances suggest limitation? These opportunities often come disguised as extra work, additional responsibilities, or invitations to step outside your comfort zone. People in preparation mode learn to say yes to opportunities that stretch them, even when the immediate payoff isn't obvious. As you evolve energetically, your relationships change. People who vibrate in scarcity may naturally drift away. New connections with abundance-minded people begin to emerge. This can be painful initially, but it's a necessary part of the preparation. You're being aligned with the energetic field that supports wealth. Birds of a feather don't just flock together, they co-create together. You might notice that conversations with certain people leave you feeling drained and pessimistic, while conversations with others leave you feeling energized and inspired. Pay attention to these energetic signatures and gradually orient toward the relationships that support your growth. You begin to have insights about investments, businesses, or financial opportunities that previously didn't make sense to you. Your intuition about money sharpens. You develop an antenna for recognizing value and potential. This isn't about becoming psychic about the stock market. It's about developing a more sophisticated understanding of how value is created and exchanged in the world. You start seeing patterns and connections that were invisible before. You might find yourself having ideas for businesses, noticing inefficiencies in systems, or seeing ways to solve problems that others are experiencing. These insights are preparing you to become a creator of value, not just a consumer of it. You notice that your resistance to having more money is diminishing. Fears about not deserving it, or money is bad, begin to dissolve naturally. You feel more comfortable with the idea of prosperity. This isn't about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts about money. It's about a genuine shift in your relationship with abundance. Old beliefs that money corrupts, that wealthy people are bad, or that you're somehow safer being poor begin to feel less true. This shift often happens gradually and might not be immediately obvious. You might notice it first in small ways, feeling comfortable in expensive restaurants, not automatically assuming the worst about successful people, or being able to discuss large amounts of money without emotional charge. Meaningful coincidences around money and opportunities increase. You might think of someone and then receive a call about a business opportunity. You might have a financial need and then discover an unexpected way to meet it. These synchronicities are signs that you're becoming more aligned with the flow of abundance. Your energy field is starting to resonate with opportunities and resources in a way that creates apparent luck. The more you notice and appreciate these synchronicities, the more they tend to occur. It's as if the universe responds to your recognition of its intelligence by providing more evidence of that intelligence. You notice that you're becoming more resilient in the face of financial stress. Challenges that would have devastated you in the past now feel manageable. You recover more quickly from setbacks. This resilience isn't about becoming emotionally numb. It's about developing genuine strength and flexibility. You're building the emotional and physical stamina needed to handle the intensity that often comes with creating and managing significant wealth. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What is this preparing me for?" Every unexpected bill becomes training in financial flexibility. Every job loss becomes an opportunity to develop multiple income streams. Every no you receive becomes a lesson in persistence or redirection. This shift in perspective isn't just mental. It literally alters your vibrational frequency, causing the quantum field to respond differently. Make this reframing a daily practice. When faced with any financial challenge, pause before reacting emotionally and ask, "If this is preparation, what am I being prepared for?" Sometimes the answer will be immediately obvious. Sometimes it will only become clear in retrospect. But asking the question shifts you from victim consciousness to student consciousness. Begin to behave energetically like someone who already has abundance, even if your bank account doesn't reflect it yet. This doesn't mean spending money you don't have. It means treating yourself with the respect you'd give to someone prosperous. It means making decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. It means cultivating generosity in small things. When you go to a restaurant, do you choose based on fear of price or pleasure of experience? When you invest in yourself, do you calculate every penny with anxiety or invest with the confidence of someone who knows they multiply? Practice thinking like someone who has options. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, what would I choose if money weren't a factor? Sometimes you might still make the same choice, but the energy behind it will be different. Sustainable wealth requires the ability to navigate uncertainty with grace. People who only feel safe when they can control everything have a natural limit to how much they can receive. Practice being comfortable without knowing exactly how things will work out. Cultivate trust in the process even when you can't see the next step. Develop the ability to make important decisions with incomplete information. Start small with this practice. Take small risks where the downside is manageable, but the upside could be significant. Get comfortable with the feeling of not knowing the outcome. Learn to distinguish between intelligent caution and fear-based paralysis. Uncertainty isn't the enemy of wealth. It's the space where wealth is created. Every successful entrepreneur, investor, or creator has learned to dance with uncertainty rather than avoid it. Stop identifying as someone who struggles financially and start seeing yourself as someone who is building sustainable wealth. This identity shift needs to be genuine, based on real evidence of growth that you can recognize. Maybe you don't have $1 million yet, but you can recognize that you're wiser financially than you were a year ago. Maybe you don't have your dream business yet, but you can recognize that you have more entrepreneurial courage than before. Start collecting evidence of your expanding capabilities. Keep a journal of wins, both big and small. Notice when you make good financial decisions. Acknowledge when you handle money stress better than you used to. Build a case for your evolving identity. Identity change happens through accumulated evidence, not through forced affirmations. Focus on creating evidence of who you're becoming, and the identity will shift naturally. Many people block wealth because they don't know how to receive. They feel guilty, unworthy, or uncomfortable when good things happen. Practice receiving compliments without deflecting. Accept help when it's offered. Allow yourself to feel pleasure with the good things you already have in your life. Develop the capacity to say thank you instead of sorry when someone does something nice for you. Receptivity is a skill that can be developed. Start with small things. Let someone buy you coffee, accept a genuine compliment, allow someone to help you carry something. Notice your internal resistance and practice softening it. Sustainable wealth only flows when there's alignment between who you are and what you do. If you're trying to get rich doing things that violate your deepest values, You'll create internal resistance that sabotages the process. Identify what truly matters to you. How do you want to impact the world? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? How can your financial actions be expressions of these values? This doesn't mean you have to start a charity or save the world. It means ensuring that your path to wealth is consistent with your authentic self. When there's alignment, you work with natural energy rather than against it. Wealthy people rarely depend on a single source of income or a single skill. They develop multiple ways to create value in the world. This isn't just about financial security. It's about becoming genuinely valuable to the marketplace. Look for ways to develop skills that complement each other. If you're good at one thing, what related skills could multiply your impact? How can you become someone who solves important problems for people? Don't just focus on making money. Focus on creating value. Money is simply the byproduct of value creation. The more valuable you become, the more wealth naturally flows to you. Wealth requires emotional sophistication. You need to be able to make important decisions when you're scared, stay calm when others are panicking, and maintain optimism during difficult periods. Develop practices that help you regulate your emotional state. This might include meditation, exercise, breathwork, journaling, or therapy. The specific practice matters less than your commitment to developing emotional stability. Practice staying centered during small challenges so you'll be prepared for larger ones. Every time you maintain your composure in a difficult situation, you're building the emotional muscle memory you'll need for bigger challenges. Not to copy them blindly, but to understand the mindset and behaviors that create and sustain wealth. Read biographies, listen to interviews, study their decision-making processes. Pay attention to how wealthy people think about risk, opportunity, money, time, and relationships. Notice the mental models they use to navigate complex decisions. Observe their relationship with uncertainty and change. But don't just study their successes. Study their failures and how they recovered from them. Resilience is often more important than initial success. Wealthy people think in systems, not just goals. They create processes that generate consistent results rather than relying on sporadic bursts of effort. Start creating systems in your current financial life, no matter how small. Automate your savings. Create processes for tracking expenses. Develop routines for reviewing and adjusting your financial strategy. The ability to create and follow systems is a crucial skill for managing wealth. Start developing this ability with whatever resources you currently have. There will be moments when the preparation will seem too intense, when you'll question whether it's worth it, when you'll want to give up and accept financial mediocrity. These are the most important moments. These are the moments that truly define whether you're ready for the next level or need more preparation. Understanding this helps you reframe the intensity. Instead of seeing difficult moments as evidence that you're on the wrong path, recognize them as evidence that you're approaching a breakthrough. The intensity often increases right before a major shift. It's like the final push in childbirth. The most difficult part comes right before the birth. If you give up during these moments, you rob yourself of the breakthrough that was just around the corner. You need to develop an apparently contradictory quality, being patient with the process while maintaining urgency in your actions. Patience means trusting divine timing, understanding that your preparation is happening at the perfect pace, not resisting the growth process. Urgency means not using "I'm being prepared" as an excuse for procrastination. It means acting consistently, seizing opportunities, maintaining momentum. This balance is crucial. Too much patience without urgency leads to passivity. Too much urgency without patience leads to forcing and resistance. There are specific signs that your preparation is nearing completion. You feel genuinely comfortable with the idea of having a lot of money. Your self-worth no longer depends on your bank account balance. You can make important decisions without being dominated by fear. You've developed multiple value creation skills. Your relationships are based on mutual abundance, not neediness. You have clarity about how you'd use wealth to positively impact the world. You can stay calm and focused during financial stress. You trust your financial intuition. You see opportunities where others see only problems. The turning point often comes unexpectedly. After intense periods of preparation, suddenly opportunities begin to align. Doors that were closed open simultaneously. Resources that weren't available become accessible. This moment can be so sudden that you might not recognize it initially. That's why it's important to stay alert and ready to act when it arrives. Sometimes the turning point comes as a single big opportunity. Sometimes it comes as a series of smaller opportunities that compound rapidly. The key is being prepared to recognize and seize it regardless of how it appears. As you get closer to breakthrough, your old patterns might make a final desperate attempt to keep you in the familiar territory of limitation. This can manifest as intense self-doubt, unexpected self-sabotage, or a sudden desire to retreat to your comfort zone. Recognize these as normal parts of the process, not signs that you're failing. Your subconscious mind is programmed to keep you safe, and for many people, wealth feels dangerous because it's unknown. When doubt arises, don't try to eliminate it completely. Instead, learn to act in spite of it. Feel the fear and move forward anyway. This builds confidence in your ability to handle uncertainty. Don't try to go through this process alone. Surround yourself with people who understand and support your growth. This might include mentors, coaches, mastermind groups, or simply friends who believe in your potential. Avoid people who consistently discourage your ambitions or try to pull you back to your old level. Well-meaning friends and family members might unknowingly sabotage your growth because your evolution threatens their comfort with the status quo. Choose your influences carefully. The people you spend time with, the books you read, the content you consume, all of these shape your energy field and influence your preparation process. At the quantum level, you are entangled with all the possibilities of wealth that exist for you. But to access these possibilities, you need to be vibrating at the correct frequency. Every preparation experience is adjusting your vibrational frequency. It's removing dissonances that prevent total entanglement with your destined abundance. Entanglement means that changes in your energy field instantaneously affect the possibilities available to you, regardless of physical distance or apparent circumstances. When you shift internally, opportunities shift externally. In the quantum world, multiple realities exist simultaneously until a conscious observer collapses the wave function into a specific reality. Your preparation is transforming you into a more conscious observer, more capable of consistently collapsing possibility waves into abundance realities. This requires not just conscious intention, but unconscious alignment. Your subconscious beliefs, emotional patterns, and energetic signatures all participate in the observation that collapses reality. To manifest sustainable wealth, you need coherence between all aspects of your being: thoughts, emotions, actions, beliefs, identity. Preparation forces this coherence. It highlights inconsistencies and gives you opportunities to align them. Coherence isn't about perfection, it's about all parts of you moving in the same direction. When you achieve even brief moments of total coherence, you create a gravitational pull in the quantum field that draws opportunities to you. As within, so without, isn't just philosophy, it's quantum physics. Your internal state of being directly corresponds to your external circumstances. Preparation is optimizing your internal state to correspond with external circumstances of abundance. This correspondence happens through resonance. Your energy field resonates with circumstances that match its frequency. Change the frequency, and you change what you attract. There exists a morphogenetic field of abundance, an energetic pattern that contains all the information about how wealth works. Your preparation is attuning you to this field. When you're fully attuned, you naturally think, feel, and act like someone who understands abundance at a cellular level. This field contains the collective wisdom of all who have successfully created and maintained wealth. By attuning to it, you gain access to this wisdom without having to learn everything through trial and error. In quantum physics, the act of observation changes what is being observed. In your financial reality, your way of observing your circumstances literally changes those circumstances. If you observe your challenges as punishment, you strengthen the pattern of struggle. If you observe them as preparation, you accelerate the process of transformation. This isn't just positive thinking, it's quantum mechanics. Your consciousness actively participates in creating your reality through the act of observation. Before observation collapses possibilities into reality, multiple potential outcomes exist in superposition. They're all equally real until one is selected through conscious observation. Right now, versions of you living in abundance exist in quantum superposition alongside versions struggling with scarcity. Your preparation is learning to consistently observe and therefore manifest the abundant versions. Quantum effects aren't limited by space and time. When you make a genuine shift in consciousness, the effects can be instantaneous and far-reaching, affecting opportunities and connections across great distances. This is why sometimes breakthrough seems to come out of nowhere. You've been building toward it energetically, And when the shift reaches critical mass, the external results appear suddenly. Maria was an executive at a multinational corporation. She earned well, had status, felt secure. Until the company closed and she lost everything at 45. For 2 years, she fought to find another similar position. Rejected repeatedly, she began to question her worth, until she realized she wasn't being punished, she was being prepared. Those 2 years forced her to develop skills she'd never needed to use: genuine networking, sales, entrepreneurship, emotional resilience. She learned to create value instead of just managing it. When she finally launched her own consultancy, within 6 months she was earning more than in her old position. Within 2 years, she'd built a 7-figure company. The loss had been preparation for abundance greater than she'd ever imagined. But more importantly, she'd become someone capable of creating and maintaining that abundance. The preparation hadn't just given her money, it had given her unshakable confidence in her ability to create value in the world. Roberto opened his first business at 25. It failed within 2 years. He opened his second at 28. It failed in 18 months. He opened his third at 31. It failed within a year. At 33, he was devastated financially and emotionally, but he was also different. He'd developed mental resilience, rapid recovery ability, deep understanding of what works and what doesn't in business. His fourth business, launched at 34, became a 9-figure company. The 3 failures weren't failures. They were the most valuable preparation he could have received. Each failure had taught him something essential. The first taught him about market validation, the second about cash flow management, the third about team building. By the 4th attempt, he had all the pieces he needed. Anna was talented but charged ridiculously low prices for her work. She was afraid of being too ambitious or exploiting people. Life put her in situations where she was forced to increase her prices. Children to support, expensive medical bills, urgent needs. Each time she increased prices, she discovered people continued buying and actually respected her more. This gradual process of being forced to value herself was actually preparing her to understand her true worth. Today, she's one of the highest paid artists in her region. But the real transformation wasn't in her prices. It was in her relationship with her own value. She learned to see herself as someone worthy of abundance. David worked for 15 years in a job he hated, barely making ends meet. He felt trapped and resentful. Then the company downsized and he was let go. With no job prospects, he was forced to learn about investing and passive income. What started as desperation became fascination. He discovered he had a natural aptitude for understanding markets and trends. The skills he developed during his unemployed period became the foundation for a successful investment career. Within 5 years, his investment income exceeded what he'd ever made in his corporate job. The job loss that felt like disaster was actually redirection toward his true calling. Lisa was a single mother working 3 jobs to make ends meet. She had no time, no money, and no apparent opportunities. But her circumstances forced her to become incredibly efficient, resourceful, and creative. She learned to maximize every minute and every dollar. She developed unshakable determination and the ability to find solutions where others saw only problems. When she finally had the opportunity to start a small online business, these skills allowed her to grow it rapidly. Her experience with scarcity had taught her to appreciate and maximize abundance. Her business grew into a multi-million-dollar empire, but more importantly, she'd become someone capable of handling that level of success without losing her values or her groundedness. Every night before sleep, write 3 things. What challenge did I face today? What might this experience be preparing me for? What skill or quality did I develop through this experience? This practice reprograms your perception of adversity as preparation, accelerating the transformation process. Make this a detailed practice. Don't just write surface-level answers. Dig deep into what each experience might be developing in you. Look for patterns over time. Notice how different challenges are building different aspects of your character and capabilities. Every day, dedicate 10 minutes to visualizing the version of you that already lives in total abundance. But don't just focus on what this person has. Focus on who they are. How do they think? How do they move? How do they make decisions? How do they treat other people? How do they manage money? How do they handle challenges? Then choose one small action you can take today to behave more like this version of yourself. Make this visualization as detailed and multi-sensory as possible. See what this version of you sees, feel what they feel, Hear what they hear. Notice their posture, their breathing, their energy. This isn't fantasy. You're accessing a real quantum possibility and training your nervous system to embody it. Instead of just being grateful for what you have, practice gratitude for what you're becoming. I'm grateful for developing financial courage. I'm grateful for learning to trust the process. I'm grateful for becoming someone capable of sustainable abundance. This practice aligns you with the preparation process instead of resisting it. You're literally programming your subconscious to see challenges as gifts. Spend time feeling genuine appreciation for your growth process. Acknowledge the strength you're building, the wisdom you're gaining, the person you're becoming. This isn't just positive thinking. It's energetic alignment with your evolution. In every small decision of the day, pause and ask, how would the abundant version of me make this decision? This doesn't mean spending money you don't have. It means choosing quality over quantity, value over price, growth over false security. Practice this with tiny decisions first. What to eat, how to dress, how to respond to people. Notice how making decisions from abundance changes your energy and the responses you get from others. Whenever a financial opportunity arises, even if it seems small or not the right time, ask 3 questions. What could this opportunity teach me? How could it connect me with valuable people? How could it develop skills I'll need in the future? If any answer is positive, seriously consider taking the opportunity. This practice trains you to recognize value in unexpected forms and builds your capacity to say yes to growth opportunities, even when they're not obviously profitable. Once a week, dedicate time to cleaning your financial energy. Organize your financial documents, review and adjust your budget, pay off small debts, make small investments in yourself, donate or give away something you no longer use. These actions keep your financial energy flowing and organized, creating space for more abundance to enter your life. Sit quietly and imagine golden light entering through the top of your head, filling your entire body. This light represents the energy of abundance. Breathe it in. Let it circulate through every cell. As you do this, repeat silently, I am a worthy vessel for abundance. I am being prepared to receive and share great wealth. I trust the process of my preparation. Feel this truth in your body, not just in your mind. Let your nervous system experience what it feels like to be filled with abundant energy. Regularly ask yourself, how can I create more value in the world? Write down every idea that comes to you, no matter how small or unrealistic it might seem. This practice trains your mind to think like someone who creates wealth, rather than someone who just receives wages. You're programming yourself to see opportunities for value creation everywhere. Review your ideas regularly. Sometimes solutions that seemed impossible become feasible as you grow and develop new capabilities. Choose a wealthy person you admire, living or dead, someone you know personally or a public figure. Spend time studying their mindset, their decision-making process, their approach to challenges. During difficult moments, ask yourself, what would this person do in this situation? This isn't about copying them exactly, but about accessing their energy and wisdom. This practice helps you internalize successful patterns and expand your idea of what's possible. When financial fear arises, instead of trying to suppress it, use this protocol. Acknowledge the fear. I notice I'm feeling scared about money. Locate it in your body. I feel this fear in my chest and stomach. Breathe into it. Send breath to that area for 30 seconds. Reframe it. This fear is showing me where I'm growing. What is it trying to protect me from? Choose a small, brave action. What one small step can I take right now in spite of this fear? This practice transforms fear from an obstacle into information and fuel for growth. You notice that your inner peace and self-worth no longer fluctuate dramatically with your financial circumstances. You might be going through challenges, but you maintain an internal calm, a confidence that everything will work out. This doesn't mean you're emotionally numb or don't care about outcomes. It means you've developed genuine trust in the process and in your ability to handle whatever comes. You've internalized the understanding that your worth isn't determined by your net worth, and this gives you tremendous power to make decisions from clarity rather than fear. You automatically think in terms of long-term impact. Important decisions are made considering consequences years into the future, not just months. You invest in things that might only pay off much later. You're willing to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term benefit. You understand that wealth is built through compound effects over time. This shift in time perspective is crucial because sustainable wealth requires the ability to delay gratification and think systematically about the future. During difficult moments, you naturally see opportunities. Where others see only problems, you see possibilities for growth, learning, or value creation. This isn't toxic positivity or denial of real problems. It's a genuine ability to see the full spectrum of possibilities in any situation, including the ones that could lead to breakthrough. You've developed what wealthy people call crisis vision, the ability to spot opportunities that only become visible during times of chaos or change. Your relationships become based on what you can create together, not what you can extract from each other. You attract people who also think abundantly. You find yourself naturally connecting with people who are building things, creating value, thinking big. Conversations become about possibilities rather than complaints. You no longer feel the need to compete with others for limited resources because you understand that abundance is infinitely expandable when people collaborate. You have clarity not just about how much money you want, but about why you want it and how you'll use it. Your motivation for wealth is connected to something bigger than personal gratification. This purpose gives you sustained motivation during difficult periods and guides your decisions about how to create and use wealth. You see money as a tool for impact rather than an end in itself. This perspective attracts opportunities because people want to support purposes they believe in. You develop an antenna for good financial opportunities. You can sense when something is a good investment or when you should avoid something. Your intuition about money becomes reliable. This intuition is based on pattern recognition accumulated through experience. You've seen enough situations to quickly assess risk and opportunity. You trust your gut feelings about financial decisions because you've learned to distinguish between fear-based reactions and genuine intuitive warnings. You still might feel fear when facing big opportunities, but it no longer paralyzes you. You've developed the ability to act consciously despite fear. You understand that fear is often a compass pointing toward growth opportunities. Instead of avoiding what scares you, you learn to evaluate whether the fear is protective or limiting. You can feel afraid and excited simultaneously about the same opportunity. This capacity for holding paradox is essential for navigating the uncertainty that wealth creation often requires. You maintain your own energy, regardless of other people's financial stress, panic, or negativity. You can be compassionate without absorbing their anxiety. This energetic stability allows you to make clear decisions even when everyone around you is panicking. You become a stabilizing force in your environment. People start coming to you for financial advice or perspective because they sense your groundedness and clarity around money. You naturally become more generous, not just with money, but with time, attention, knowledge, and opportunities. You operate from overflow rather than scarcity. This generosity isn't forced or strategic. It flows naturally from your understanding that giving and receiving are part of the same energy flow. Your generosity creates positive feedback loops that bring more abundance into your life, confirming your understanding of how wealth actually works. People and opportunities begin gravitating toward you without you having to chase them. You develop a magnetic quality that attracts what you need. This magnetism is the result of your energetic coherence. When all parts of you are aligned around abundance, you create a powerful, attractive field. You stop trying to convince people to work with you or invest in you. Instead, you focus on becoming so valuable and aligned that the right people naturally want to connect. There's a specific moment when your preparation completes and everything begins to align rapidly. This moment can be sudden and dramatic. Opportunities that were dormant suddenly activate. People who can help you appear synchronistically. Resources you needed become available. Doors that were closed open simultaneously. This alignment can be so rapid that it feels almost surreal. You might have been struggling for years, then suddenly everything shifts within weeks or months. Many people miss this moment because they're not prepared to recognize it or act quickly. They might be so accustomed to preparation that they don't notice when it's time to leap into manifestation. Stay alert for signs of acceleration in your life. When opportunities start coming faster than usual, when synchronicities increase, when people start approaching you instead of you having to reach out, these are signs that your preparation phase might be completing. Be ready to say yes to opportunities that stretch you, even if you don't feel completely ready. The universe rarely waits for you to feel 100% prepared. When wealth finally arrives, remember that it came through preparation, not by accident. This keeps you humble and grateful, two qualities essential for sustaining abundance. Wealth without humility often leads to arrogance, which creates resistance that can cause the wealth to disappear. Stay connected to your values and remember the process that brought you here. Use your success as evidence of what's possible for others, not as proof that you're better than others. Your wealth is meant to be a contribution to the world, not just a personal achievement. Once you manifest abundance through conscious preparation, part of your responsibility becomes helping others who are going through the same process. This doesn't mean giving away your money indiscriminately. It means sharing your understanding, modeling possibility, and being living proof that the process works. Your success gives hope to others who are in their preparation phase. Use your story to inspire and guide, remembering that you once needed the same encouragement. Remember that preparation for wealth isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process. Even after you achieve your current financial goals, you'll be prepared for even greater levels of abundance and impact. Each level of wealth brings new challenges and new opportunities for growth. The skills you develop during your initial preparation become the foundation for handling even greater responsibilities. Stay open to ongoing preparation. The universe might be preparing you not just for personal wealth, but for the impact you'll have in the world through that wealth. When you understand that you're not being tested but prepared, everything changes. The same events that previously generated resistance now generate curiosity. The same challenges that seemed like punishment now reveal themselves as training. This paradigm shift is perhaps the most valuable thing you can take from this entire discussion. It changes your relationship with difficulty from victimhood to studentship. Trusting the preparation process is perhaps the most important skill you can develop. This trust isn't based on blind hope, but on understanding the quantum intelligence that orchestrates your evolution. Trust allows you to stay in flow with the process instead of fighting it. It helps you see the bigger picture when you're in the middle of challenging experiences. Trust also attracts more trustworthy opportunities and people into your life. The universe responds to your faith by providing more evidence that your faith is justified. Now that you understand the process, what's your next step? How can you begin today to reframe your current challenges as preparation? What quality do you need to develop to be ready for the next level of abundance? Start where you are, with what you have. Every small shift in perspective, every tiny action taken from abundance rather than scarcity, every moment of trust in the process, all of these contribute to your preparation. Don't wait for perfect circumstances to begin. Your preparation is happening now, in the exact circumstances you're currently facing. Remember, preparation for wealth isn't a destination, it's a continuous process. Even when you achieve your current financial goals, you'll be prepared for even greater levels of abundance and impact. Each level of wealth you achieve becomes the foundation for the next level. The skills you develop, the person you become, the trust you build, these become your permanent assets that no economic downturn can take away. If this content resonated with you, if something inside you lit up while watching, I invite you to join this community. Leave in the comments one word that captures the energy you're choosing to carry forward from now on. Maybe it's preparation, maybe it's trust, maybe it's abundance. Whatever it is, let that word be a quantum declaration, a seed you plant not just in this space, but in yourself. And if this video brought you a shift in perspective, if you felt an internal click, a recognition, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you're not just adding another channel to your list. You're joining a movement of consciousnesses that are preparing to be vehicles of abundance in the world. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Thank you for your presence, your attention, your energy. You're not just a viewer, you're an active participant in this unfolding. Continue trusting, continue preparing, continue aligning with the abundance that already exists for you in the quantum field. The universe isn't testing your worthiness, it's preparing you for the wealth that's already yours.